All right, guys, so today I wanted to look at the two teams planning new college basketball arenas, along with a few of the teams that have actually just opened. There's two or three different stadiums I want to look at, or excuse me, arenas I want to look at that just opened in 2022. What are the designs like when it comes to college basketball? We're going to get into it. We do have Baylor University, who is opening a $200 million groundbreaking stadium capacity. Kind of interesting here. Lower than 8,000. Total capacity 7,500. I like the idea. And of course, Baylor being able to fund this new project, this new arena, not surprising considering they've been so successful and they're a consistent top 2, top 3 seed every single year in terms of the tournament. This stadium, the construction is currently happening, and they're supposed to open in the fall of 2023. So this coming year, the start of this next year, Baylor University will have a new arena. And just taking a look at it, I love the overall designs. When it comes to college arenas, you want a little zazz to them. You want the seats to match the overall team color. Baylor goes with the dark green combined with the, teal right up against the hoops. And they also do have a window, which is kind of the new thing a lot of these colleges are starting to do. We never see it with the NBA where you have like a window that lets natural light in. And as long as you balance it right and it's not in direct line with the sunset, you can get away with doing it and having games. Allen Fieldhouse has it. Hinckley Fieldhouse has it for Butler. And now Baylor has it as well, and it's a good way to get light into it. Now, this is called the Foster Pavilion, I believe, for Baylor that will be opening this coming season right along the river. Those are some nice peaceful renderings, certainly. So Baylor University getting a new arena, really well deserved with how well their team has played. Right up against the river, the Foster Pavilion. And right next to it looks like I-35. I'm guessing that's a highway, so it is next to there. And then we do have Alabama's proposed new arena. Now, Alabama enjoying a breakout season. With where they are right now, they're probably going to be a 1 seed. And there's some influx going on about what's happening at Alabama. It says after initially revealing renovation plans to Coleman Coliseum in 2018, Alabama announced in February of 2022, so a little over a year ago, an approved plan to build a new 10,000-seat arena on campus with an estimated cost of $183 million. But their athletic director came out in June in an interview with the Tuscaloosa News during an event and said that Alabama had not anticipated the inflation that has risen to 40-year highs earlier this year. And apparently it's a real struggle for Alabama to raise the overall funds, and looks like their AD is just blaming it on inflation. We'll have to see what ends up happening. I mean, Alabama had a really good season. They're kind of dealing with some turmoil there with Nate Oates and the whole Brandon Miller situation. But again, you look at the renderings of this proposed arena. Once again, you've got the natural light coming in, and I have to give Bama credit. This looks really, really nice. The brick exterior looks nice. The overall seating, this is what a college arena is. It should not look like an NBA type deal. And, seating 10K, it's close to the action. I will say that Coleman Coliseum that Bama plays at now, it's definitely old. It's outdated for an SEC arena, but it does a great job of trapping noise and just getting everyone up on the action. They certainly do need an upgrade, and I just love the exterior bricking of it and the overall big window at the front. So you look at what Alabama's done in terms of the success they've had this year, but they did blame inflation and said they're having issues raising it. So I don't think there's been any sort of groundbreaking on this project or anything like that. But they do have it seems like they have pretty significantly advanced renderings of it. Seems like, the renderings are ready to break ground. They just haven't raised the money for the overall project. So we will see if that ends up happening. Those are kind of the only two big college basketball arenas in the works that I have seen. We did have a newer arena that just opened, Fairfield. So this is one of the, this is basically as mid-major as you can get. But I gotta say, it looks really nice just looking at it. And when it comes to all of these different, mid-major Division I colleges, this is kind of the model you want to use. You look at it, they've got a nice bar area, or they might have like a restaurant or something with some nice lighting there in one of the upper deck, upper region parts of it. But yeah, I think Fairfield, it's a nice looking arena. And once again, you get the natural light coming into it. That's the new style when it comes to the college basketball arenas. You want to see an open window. That's kind of the thing they're doing that makes college basketball arenas unique compared to NBA. They allow the natural light to come in, and that's a design we've seen a lot of different colleges going back to. The two new ones, Baylor and Alabama, both designed with natural light coming in. Fairfield just opened this year with natural light coming in. Texas opened. I believe they have a natural little window. But I have to say, just taking a look at the University of Texas's new arena, I think it's called Moody Arena or Moody Center. It is a complete swing and a miss, if I'm being honest. When it comes, it's just too corporate. It's just way too corporate. The seating is boring. It's ugly. It's bland. It's like what even color would you call? Is that just black? It looks like charcoal dyke black. It's just a bad color. You would think with Texas, you would go with the burnt orange, and it's something really distinct, or at least make like a few sections orange, give it some character, give it some color. I really do not like this design. And then, of course, another issue when it comes to Texas, the renderings always look better than the final product. And if you just looked at the renderings for this arena, and by the way, this arena just opened as well in 2022 for Texas, the renderings look pretty good. But in terms of how it actually turned out, it is a complete flop. But the exterior, I will say, they've been doing a really good job with the exterior of these places. It looks really good. The exterior of this new arena. So that is the University of Texas's new arena. And then shout out to Georgia State, who had one of the worst arenas in college basketball, whether it's a mid-major or what. I remember looking at it a few days ago and I was like, man, this is one of the worst arenas. Well, it turns out they just opened a new one, the GSA Convention Center. It's called something like that. Honestly, I just made that up. I don't know what it's actually called, but you take a look at it and it's, very, very nice. You look at the exterior of it, looks like a nice thing. I'm shocked Georgia State was able to actually raise the funds to get this done. That shows, that's a healthy program right there. Good for them to get the money. Although I will say, it does look a little, it's just that low roof, man. Like if I'm sitting right up against the roof, like you go to the upper deck, you're like humping the roof. It's just a little bit of a problem with that. I understand it's smaller. I get it. And also kind of an issue. Although, is there a window? Yeah, there's a window right through one of the baskets. You can see the window right there on the left. So there is another open air there. And then Liberty Arena. So Liberty is a good basketball program, and they just built this. This opened back in 2020. And this is one of the best ones. The way they do the seating, I personally like that, although it is kind of a thing that the Meadowlands does this. Do you guys know what the seating is to where they camouflage it? So it's very hard to tell if it's an empty seat or not. It's to like show, it's so you don't like look at empty seats and stuff, so they camo it with every other seat. I do kind of think it looks tacky, honestly, just looking at it, but at least it gives it a little bit of character. So Liberty Arena, I like the name. I like they didn't use a sponsorship. They just named it Liberty Arena. And then I'm not exactly sure what the fake mountains on the windows are. You know, like, it's just, what is that? You know, I mean, I guess I could kind of, it'd be cool if we were at like a fake rainforest or something. Like, if I was at the zoo and I was going into a rainforest and I saw those windows that, like, looked like that, it just seems out of place. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. Maybe that those are actual windows, and because of the natural light, they can't allow natural light to come in during events, so they have to tint them, and they just make them like fake mountains or something. I mean, I'll give it to it. It is unique, and I do like the fact that the roof is pushed up, so it's not so stuffy, kind of like unlike the Georgia State one. But yeah, I'm not too sure about those windows. I mean, you look at every one of the photos and those windows are illuminate. It would almost be better if they just made those windows like almost like some type of glass, like lit up glass, like the Titanic Grand Staircase, the dome of it, like it's how it's lit up all the time. And then the exterior of it, I mean, they always do a good job with the exterior. It looks nice, it's brick, looks very fancy, looks expensive. So overall, that's Liberty, but that's just kind of the next few new college basketball arenas. There are certainly a lot of teams that need new arenas. My goodness, a lot of the mid-majors, you could see a team like Oklahoma State, although maybe they got a renovation, but I know they have a really old arena. There are, like Ohio State has a horrible arena, but I don't think they're getting a new one. And, like Northwestern is another one with a bad one. There's a lot of teams that need new ones. But when it comes to the actual ones that are planned, Baylor this coming fall, they're opening their new arena right around $200 million. And then we'll see if Alabama can get this project going. It seems like they've got all the renderings out there, and it does look very good, but we'll see if they can get all the legal stuff out of the way and get an actual arena. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.